Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Me Anything. I am your host, Adam KN6QGV, with my co-host.
Jeremiah, W9JM.
Today, we're going to show you guys how to set up and use analog scan lists. Now, before we begin, if you guys would do us a huge favor, make sure you guys do like and subscribe down below. That does help us out. And if you guys have any questions, get them ready because we are going to be answering them after this presentation. Jeremiah, why don't you take us down the road of analog scan lists?
All right. So when you're setting up a scan list, it's kind of like setting up a zone, but you'll be setting up your radio to scan through the channels and frequencies you put into that scan list. So for me, I just moved. I've got to put all of my stuff into a code plug yet. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm just going to make some channels that are analog, put them into a zone, and then put them into a scan list so you guys can see exactly how easy that is. So with that being said, let me take and get my screen pulled up here so I can share it. All right. You guys should be able to see that. So I'm going to start on channel 19. And for this, I'm going to come down here, select analog, make sure my bandwidth is 25K. And I don't have a scan list created yet, so it's going to be under none here. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put in some frequencies. So 146.52000 for the national simplex frequency. I'm going to put this on turbo power. And I'm not going to set up any of the APRS stuff. I'll save that for later. And I'm not going to have any tones here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the channel name and name that National Simplex VHF. Oh, nope, won't fit. Too long. All right, so I'll just leave that as National Simplex. Click OK. And then I'm just going to put in a second frequency. I actually have a list of frequencies here that I can put in. 1 second. Let's go ahead and do the North Attleboro High School, because that's right down the road from me. So that's going to be 447.975, and that one has tones. So I'll label that one. Whoops.
HS.
975.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hit tab, it'll automatically fill in those last 2 zeros for you guys. And since this is a -5 offset, it's going to be 442.975. Analog, again, turbo, bandwidth, 25K. And since this one has a decode and an encode tone, it's 88.5. Then here's my encode, CTCSS encode. And then squelch mode. I'm not sure if they're using carrier or CTCSS. I'm assuming since it's both, it'll be CTCSS.
Actually, squelch mode, the difference between them is when you're on carrier, it'll listen to all to anything. No tones are needed. It'll listen to receive everything, even ones with tones. When you're in CTCSS, then you only specifically listen to the tones that you're listening to. So I would actually leave that on CTCSS since they have both the encode and decode, so you're not interfering with any other repeaters.
Okay. And let's grab one more from the list here. And that's going to be a VHF. And that one's going to be 147.195, and it's a +6 offset, or plus 0.6 offset.
Mm-hmm.
So 147.195. One four seven
195.
195. And it's a plus 0.6. So that'll become 147.795.
795.
Again, channel type is analog, transmit power turbo, and bandwidth is going to be 25K.
Now, on the bandwidth, double check with the repeaters if they are part of the narrowband mandate where they got forced to be 12.5. Because after 2003, any issued licenses or 12.5. So do make sure you check with the repeater for the proper bandwidth. For a lot of these, they are 25. However, they can be set to 12.5.
Right. On the information that I'm getting from Repeater Book, it shows that these are standard bandwidth, so wide band, so 25K.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this one is, if I remember correctly, 127.3. So CTCSS, CTCSS, and 127, 127, CTCSS. Click OK. And I'm going to take these three, I'm going to add them to a zone. So I'm going to come over here and create a zone. I'm going to put local, analog. And then you'll notice that all of my digital stuff that's up at the top is listed first. And all of the stuff I just added is down at the bottom. So
minus the last two. The last two are example channels we usually give with the radio.
Right. So there's my national simplex. I can just hit this. Then I can go ahead and hit it again and one more time. And there's my 3 channels. I can click OK. And then I can start making my scan list. So I can come over here, move that one over, and that one over. And
give it a name.
We're going to put local analog. Oh, I thought that was going to fit, but we'll just put local analog. Click OK. And then I have my scan list. So now, if I want, I can come back to my channels that I just made.
Now, this is an important step.
Go back to scan list right here and click local analog. Then click next. Come back to scan list, click local analog, and then come back to scan list, click local analog, and OK. And that'll put all 3, will show that it's a scan list. So now we just have to write this to the radio. And then on our radio, if we've got a button set up for scan, we can actually go ahead and go to the radio and select our option for scan on the radio. So
you can also set up a hotkey.
Yep. On my radio, I haven't wrote it to the radio yet, but what I'm going to show you guys is to turn scan on and off. When you go to turn it on, it's going to say scan list no select, which means it's not selected yet. So what you've got to do is you've actually got to come down to scan list, choose a scan list, click on it, go to the very bottom of the scan list, and then click select current list. And once you select current list, then you can turn scan on. And that'll enable it to scan. So hopefully that helps. I'm gonna go ahead and quit sharing my screen here so I can get back to being able to see all of your comments and questions here.
Ken, digital scan lists are set up the same way. The only difference is if a talk group is not active, you probably won't hear it. You can just use promiscuous mode on there as well, or you have to, if you're going to do scan lists on digital, you actually need to set up receive groups. So what this will do is this will actually go through when you're on that channel, look for all those talk groups that you have in your receive group, and then go to the next channel, look for all those that are active. It will not activate them. It's just looking for any static ones or dynamic ones that are activated at that point that are in your list. So
Correct.
it does not work as well on digital as it does analog. There are more steps. That is why we're showing you guys how to do analog scan lists today and not digital, because digital actually gets very confusing and it doesn't work most of the time for people. People just get aggravated with it. So we're trying to stay away from that.
Unfortunately, that's very true.
Mhm. Well, not a lot of people today. I guess not many people want to hear about scan lists.
Well, it is what it is. Just means the people that are here that have got questions will be able to get them answered faster.
There we go. Now it's starting to build up. You guys have any questions or here, you know what, Jeremiah? Why don't we just show it a little bit? Let's show it. Pull up,
The digital scan list,
yeah, pull up your,
that's going to take a moment because I'm actually exporting that code plug.
oh, okay. Well, once he's done with that, we'll show you guys some of the basics on how to do that.
Okay. So
You need to share your screen again.
all right. So
Let's
back to the CPS.
expand digital real quick. Okay, so you see the received group call list, click there. We're gonna make a new call list. So what you're gonna do is we're just gonna select like the same thing, the different talk groups that we want to have over here. So we could put Skywolf over.
Yep. I forgot I had Skywolf programmed in there. So I can put
Maybe
Skywolf.
maybe grab 3100 or worldwide or something. I don't know.
Yep. Let's do 3100 and then we'll throw in a couple of others. As you can tell, there is a very large list of talk groups. One of the things that you get with the super code plug and the ultra code plug is this whole list already done for you instead of trying to import it from Brandmeister. It's already in the code plug for you.
Yep, passed it.
Went right past it. So here is Brandmeister US National. And then since I am in Massachusetts now, actually, I'm going to add Indiana because I still talk to people in Indiana. And then Massachusetts. And just because I don't want our friend Dana being left out here, I'll go ahead and add Michigan. And I'm going to label this fave for favorites.
All right.
I'll
So
click OK.
now that we got this receive group created, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to a digital channel.
So go back up the channel. I'm going to come down here to Indiana, or actually USA 3100 first. And then right here where you see receive group list, you'll see that it now has an option other than none, and that's favorite.
Mhm.
So what that's going to do is let's say I have all of those as static talk groups on my hotspot, whenever somebody is talking on one of those talk groups, I'll be able to hear it. And I'll be able to respond back by changing to that talk group.
Mhm.
So this lets you know when somebody is talking on that talk group, and then you can switch over to that talk group or channel that's assigned to that talk group and start talking. And if you have all of your favorites as a receive group list, then you'll know immediately when somebody's talking, regardless of the channel you're on, as long as this receive group list is programmed in on that channel. And it's a
Correct.
static talk group.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit OK.
Mhm.
So because he only has his SkyBridge in here, we're going to use one and the digital example down below as the two channels we'll use right now. You don't need to set each one right now.
Okay.
You may like to do that, so when you're on that channel, you still do that. But for scan purposes, all you need realistically is we're looking at the frequency, and then we're having the one with the scan. So go to scan list. We'll
I'll
go
create scan list.
just call it digital. Okay, click over Sky USA, and then digital example. Oh, you don't need to do all those.
Oh, okay.
So these are technically two different frequencies. So what it's going to do is when we enable this scan list, now we got to go back to those channels and set the scan list on those. So when we enable it on digital, what it's going to do is it's going to do scan list on those. Now, as the talk groups we have set on Sky USA through the receive group is set, that will actually listen for all those talk groups when it hits that channel. That's how you'll get a digital scan to work. Now on the digital example, we just go to scan list. It says none. We can set digital sky. If we wanted to, we could set the same receive group or a different receive group, or it could be whatever's active on that at that time.
Right. You can make multiple digital receive groups
Mhm.
for different channels and set those up.
Correct. So now what you could do is you just set one frequency for a local repeater and you just scan group those, and then you just manually change or dial the frequency you want, or I mean the talk group you're looking for, and go from there. But this is the general configuration you would do to set up a digital scan list.
Now, the important thing to remember with a digital scan list is those talk groups have to be static or already activated dynamically
By someone else.
on the repeater or the hotspot to be able to hear those come across when there's activity. If it's a dynamic talk group, after that, usually about 15 minutes or so, it'll drop it.
Of inactivity, 15 minutes of inactivity.
Right. If there's no activity. So if nobody talks for 15 minutes, it's going to drop it, and you'll have to push to talk to key it back up on that talk group.
I hope that answered your question with helping all that out.
Oh, I see Dana commented.
Yep. Do you need to do a TX RX offset in a hotspot channel? No, hotspots in general are simplex, so you do not need to actually do the split on them. However, if you do have a duplex hotspot, you
Which I
can
have one of
set.
those.
I have one of those as well. You can set the split on them. I do have the split set on my hotspot in there. You will need to do some radio adjustments because of some of the times if you have repeater not found enabled on your radio, it will tell you repeater not found, repeater not found, repeater not found. And that is really annoying to do. Jeremiah, if you want to actually pull up your CPS again.
Okay.
And go to optional settings.
Okay, optional settings.
We're going to go to auto repeater.
All right.
Now you're going to find a bunch of the settings here. Let's see, repeater check right there. Jeremiah has it off. It's on the, but nope, down, second set of boxes. There you go. Now, if you click on that, you can actually see in the drop down the different options and the explanations. There you go, on and off. So if you have it on, it'll let you know if you repeater not found and all of that. The next one's the intervals for the repeater check. So if you do have a connection with it, this interval might be too high for the data packets it does. How many times it rechecks the connection for the repeater, and then the notifying you repeater out of range. If you want to click that, the repeater out of range one, notify. Yep. So you see bell or voice. So it'll either beep, beep, beep on your radio and show you that repeater not found, or it'll say not found, or whatever. And it'll go whatever your intervals are and all of that. And that's how you'll hear it, or repeater not found or something it says. I don't remember. I have it on my radios, but I do use that sometimes. This actually will also help you. You need these things on in order to do ranging with your different repeaters and roaming. So that way you can range with the repeaters as well as see where you are and roam against them. Out of range notification times, how many times it notifies you. It can notify you once, it can notify you 0, it can notify you, I think 100 times. So maybe not 100 times, but that's how many times it'll notify you. Auto roaming, this is another feature you want on if you're going to be using the roaming feature to allow you to actually roam between repeaters and or different hotspots. So this is where you guys would set all these settings in order to actually be able to do that. So if it gets annoying and you don't want to hear it, then you can do this, turn these settings off. I keep them on so that way I know if there's an issue. Sometimes my hotspot, I'm like, why is it not working? Why is it not working? I go over there, cable got unplugged. So it helps you sometimes also identify issues if you do have a hotspot that you're using it with and it times out. So it helps you at home.
I have never done anything with roaming with the repeaters.
I have.
Maybe one of these days I will get around to it. But
I actually use the roaming here in Los Angeles. So all the local Brandmeister repeaters are on one. And then I have a second set of all the other ones that are in the area, some of the analog ones as well.
Okay.
And then I know people that do it with the Papa network, the Papa chat network here on the West Coast is very popular. So they'll put them all in, and as they're roaming through them, it roams between all of them.
Yep, Papa system.
Which, you're welcome,
if you guys
Edward.
are out in California, that is a very robust repeater network system. They do Brandmeister as well as analog, and they have some of the repeaters that are able to cross digital modes. So that may be something you might want to look into if you're out in that area.
Now, Dana asked a question, isn't receive group list the same as using Digimon? No. Digimonitor is different than receive group list. Receive group list, you're only looking for certain ones and it's used in association with scan lists. If you're using digital monitor, also known as promiscuous mode, you're actually scanning for any and all talk groups that are open on either one time slot or both time slots, and it's while you're statically on that channel. So they do work a little bit similar, but they are two different features and they work differently. One is looking just promiscuously to all of them. It's like a scanner mode, while the other one's just literally in scan mode, or while you're on that channel, only looking to hear certain things. Now, this receive group list is actually very helpful for commercial aspects, more like law enforcement and fire department, things like that, where they could be on one channel and be listening to dispatch, coming through on a different talk group where they don't have to respond to them, but they can hear the call outs, hear the information going out, and then talk over the channels that they have associated for them. That's just one instance in which receive groups would be very useful. I put on my receive groups any emergency channels that I like. So that way, while I'm on a certain channel, all those static talk groups that do come through on the emergency thing, I will hear them immediately. That's another very good way of using a receive group. But you can, like we said, make a whole bunch of different receipt groups, use them for different purposes. So depending on what channel you're on and what purpose you're using would be how you use the receipt group. Ken, I'm glad we were able to help you with that explanation. Anyone else got questions? Jeremiah, you got anything you'd like to add or show?
Right this moment, the only thing that I can think of is how to download the export file from Repeater Book.
Go for it. Why don't you show them that?
So let me get Repeater Book pulled back up here on my browser.
And if you guys got no more questions after that, we'll just end the stream today because it doesn't seem like a lot of people were here. But if you guys got questions, keep them coming and we'll stay as long as we need to.
All right, give me one moment here, getting signed back into Repeater Book. All right. See if I can remember. Hey, I remembered the key combination. All right. So pull the Zoom
He
screen
passed
back
the
up.
human check.
Something like that. Okay, so this is the Repeater Book website. Now you'll notice that when you go to sign in, if you haven't made an account already, it's going to have a username and password spot up here for you to sign in. If you haven't already made one, it's free to make an account. Go ahead and hit create or create an account and make yourself an account. This is the only way you'll be able to access the download for the export function. So when you go to export, you're going to click on North American repeaters or the GMRS repeaters, depending on which one you're doing. So I'm doing North American repeaters. I'm going to click proximity. I'm going to get rid of the little ad. And I'm going to switch over to proximity search 2.0. Now, it says city and state right here, but you can actually use your zip code. So I'm going to tell it 15 miles. I'm going to tell it 2 meter and 70 centimeter. I want FM. I'll save the DMR for separate. And then confirmed on air only. And order results by distance. I'm going to click search. And this will populate a list for me. And once it's done loading,
One eternity later.
they must have saw I was on their website. All right. So here is the list of repeaters. It found 25 repeaters within 15 miles of me. And this is the whole list. You'll notice it has some DMR repeaters listed in here, but that's also because they're listed as FM DMR. I'm going to ignore those for now because there's a separate way that I have to put those into the code plug. But what I'm going to do is come up here, highlight export, and you'll see there's an option for any tone. Click on ATD878 channel file and put in how I want these ordered.
CPS version.
Right. It's only got the one drop out down for CPS version right now. I'm going to click agree, click download. And you'll see it made me a Excel file right here. In that Excel file is everything I need to put into an export of my current code plug to be able to put that into my radio. So guys, bear with me just a moment. I will actually take and open Excel up so you guys can see what that file looks like. With those the two DMR channels removed, this is what the Excel file looks like. You'll notice this looks very similar to your channel.csv file from your export when you export your code plug. Now, one thing you'll notice is we're missing about 3 rows of zeros at the end here. There should be 3 more rows on the end here. When you go to copy all of this over to your code plug, you're going to have to manually put those zeros in to make it fill out correctly. That's where a lot of people get that error where it says import error, is because those zeros are missing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I show you what the actual export looks like of the channel file, this is the one we did earlier. And if you notice, we've got several more groups of zeros here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 more zeros that need to be added onto the end of the original file. So when you copy and paste that in, you'll just have to take and put those zeros in at the end to line it up with these columns that are right here.
What you can do is you could put 0 in the first one across, and you can actually fill right and then copy all those. And then you just highlight the whole top row and then highlight all the way down and just go fill down, and it'll fill in all those columns.
Correct. So I will go into more detail on how to do this on a future episode of BCU Live. If you are not a member of BridgeCom Plus, we have a monthly membership program, annual, and a lifetime membership program that will actually allow you access to the BCU Live courses or the BCU live streams on Tuesday nights, as well as all of our training courses on BridgeCom University.
Now, for anyone interested in BridgeCom Plus, I am dropping a link here in the chat. Check out BC Plus. It's an amazing community. We have a lot of like-minded hams in there. I know we have a couple of our BC Plus members here today. They can vouch for us, and tell you how beneficial it is. We have training for you guys. We have exclusive giveaways. We have a weekly exclusive show for you guys where we go in depth and explain things more. If you're interested, go get into that. We also give, for our upper members, our annual and lifetime, we have membership cards we're working on getting out there. And we also give discounts and early access to different sales and stuff. So we have discounts on workshops and training courses, and then we have early access to different sales events. A lot of fun, a lot of benefits. So please, if you guys are interested, check it out and join. I dropped the link down below.
All right. So hopefully my little quick explanation of how to import the channels from Repeater Book will help some of you guys out. If you're wanting help building your code plug, using Repeater Book and getting stuff working, I am looking into a option for paid support on that, because we don't currently do anything with local code plugs. If it's with our super code plug or our ultra code plug, and you're having an issue because something got changed and it's not working with your hotspot, we are glad to help you get that figured out. But as far as adding your local channels to your code plug, I'm looking into future options for that on what I can do to assist you guys with that. So hopefully that will help. And like Adam said, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and shoot them to us. I know
we know
like
there is a delay between us and you guys. So if you guys do have a question, just say, yeah, question, and then we'll wait for you to post it. So that way you can have time to type it. But if, with these delays, it's kind of hard for us. So any help you guys can give to us is really appreciated. Newbie to the 878 UV2. Put the radio into promiscuous and now I can't get it to stop. Also couldn't get to VHF simplex now. Any help? Promiscuous mode's very easy. What you're going to do is you're going to hit settings, a menu, go down to digital monitor or Digimon, and then you're going to go where on the first option, it's going to say what type of Digimon you want selected. Go to none. It should say single slot, dual slot, or none. That's how you turn off promiscuous mode or Digimonitor. As far as you couldn't get VHF simplex, are you able to? Okay, let's rewind. What was the issue specifically with simplex? Were you not able to hit anyone, or were you not able to program it? Because these are two different issues. Not able to hit anyone could be that there was no one near that was on the frequency. If you didn't program it right, that could be another thing we can help you with, but I need a little bit more clarification on that, Chris. Well, I see the promiscuous mode helped. Anyone else have any questions? I know there's not many of you guys here today. We do appreciate almost everyone liking the show. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you do like and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell to get notified when we are live. We do usually do this every week. And we are planning on getting to have some people come on here and interview them. We're just working it all out, getting things coordinated and getting the people interested scheduled. Okay, try to use it on a frequency for trace control on one frequency. Jeremiah?
Trace control. 1 second here. I tried to use it on a frequency for trace control on one frequency. Race.
VHF simplex.
Okay.
5K race. It's a run. It's like a marathon. I would actually say, what are the settings you're trying to do? Maybe open up a support ticket so we could get some more information. The only reason I say that is that this could be a couple different things. And are you also trying to do APRS with that? Because the reality is, if you set everything programmed properly in the radio for simplex, it should work perfectly fine. They could be using a tone that you're not having set, like we showed earlier. It could be that they're using 2-tone paging, 5-tone paging, DTMF, some of these other functions like that. Well, maybe not DTMF for that. DTMF's more for internet relays and stuff. But 2-tone or 5-tone could be a thing.
I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to need a lot more information. This could be any number of things. But if you would like to go to support.bridgecomsystems.com, and on the top right-hand side of the screen, you'll see submit a ticket. You can actually create a ticket right there with us, and we will help you figure that out. Yeah, I've never had any issues with VHF simplex, and I do races too. We also use APRS. Yeah, we use APRS. It's usually 144.9. Wait, 144.990. That's what we use for events. No tone, just yeah, simple VHF. I'd need to see your code plug maybe, because there might be just something that you're programming incorrectly. Ralph, no. Go.
I was gonna say that's the best advice I could give is do the support ticket, and since Adam is more familiar with Racy's Aries and
yeah, he'll send the
help.
ticket over to me, and I'll help you out. I'll help you figure that out. Will there be a BCU live on the 4th?
No, there will not be ABC live on the 4th.
we are actually taking time off. We have, I believe, the 3rd and the 4th off for us.
Yep. So extended barbecue.
Yes.
I may actually drive out to Cape Cod. I don't know.
Chris, there's nothing to be sorry about. And we're glad that you're here and you're new to our feed. Keep coming back. We will help you out with this issue. If you go to, again, I'll put the link in here. Believe that's right. Go there and open up a ticket with us and we'll be able to help you.
Yep, on the top right side of the page, you'll see a spot that says support, submit a ticket. You'll click there, and then you'll fill out all the relevant information. Just to confirm, Chris, if you didn't get the radio from us, you won't have an order number to put in. If you got it from our Amazon store, put that order number in. But if you didn't get the radio from us, that will be something that we'll have to figure out.
Just, yeah, put in the notes something that we told you to write in the ticket, because we'll confirm it with this show, obviously. All righty. Well, it doesn't seem like there's that many questions left. If you got a question, just say me real quick up in the chat. We're going to give you guys a couple minutes. If not, we're going to end the stream and everything. So. And Dana, by the way, you're welcome for the explanation.
And also, you're welcome for us throwing you in there. I didn't know you were watching the stream. So.
Yes, Chris, the BridgeCom University, we actually are in the process of doing some updates to the training courses. So we will be adding some new training courses here shortly. Jeremiah just finished up one of them. We're waiting for all the videos to be edited. Then we're going to do all the uploads. Once the uploads are done, that course will be available to everyone. The first one we have done is for the plug and play, because we never actually had one for the plug and play to help individuals with that. The next one that we're doing after that is going to be our Anytone radio training course version 3.0. And that will be available here hopefully shortly. We have all the scripts ready. We just need to start creating all the videos and have the videos edited so we can upload them. We are very busy over here trying to make sure we provide you guys with the best training and learning experience possible. And we are looking at making a big upgrade to our university platform.
All right. So I don't see any more questions.
Yep. And I see people dropping off. So we'd like to thank everyone for taking the time. We know that during your lunchtime here, you have other places you can be, out with friends, whatever, at a restaurant. But we really appreciate each and every one of you. On behalf of the whole BridgeCom family, I'm Adam KN6 QGV with my co-host
Jeremiah W9JAM.
We're signing off. 7-3, y'all.
7-3s.